What is up, y'all? So far in the Outliers, we have had some incredible guests, from barbecue pit masters to professional wrestlers to people who run haunted houses. Today, we're meeting with Jake from Spites Corner here on YouTube. He makes his living riding and reviewing motorcycles. This guy literally took his passion for motorcycles and turned it into his paycheck. I am John Joffrey, and this is the Outliers, Spites Corner. Man, dude, it's awesome to be out here, brother.
Great to be out.
This is amazing. Out here at Glacier. I mean, where the hell are we?
Man, I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you. This is one of my favorite spots,
Yes.
and I'm not just gonna disclose it to anybody.
Yes, so we're outside of Austin, about 30, 45, 1 hour, 2 hours. We don't know. We're outside of Austin.
We're outside of Austin in the woods.
This is what you do for a living. This is your office.
Pretty much, yeah.
So your office is like ever changing. What other kind of places do you film in?
I've gone to the Mojave Desert. I've gone to Tampa, Florida. I've been all over the place, man. Like, I'm getting ready to go to Sturgis.
This is like one of the coolest jobs you could ever have. You literally just ride motorcycles and make awesome videos all the time. Like, how the hell did you get into this career?
I literally stumbled into it first. I don't know if I can say that out here.
You can.
But yeah, no, I stumbled into it first. But so my background is actually in video production. So I went and studied in college, I went and studied film. They taught me how to edit, they taught me how to shoot, they taught me how to structure shots, write scripts, all of that stuff. And then I went to work in a real estate company.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I went to work at a real estate company doing 360-degree photography. And I would go into the office, and some days I would literally sit there with a VR headset on. I would hear people walk by, so I was doing this stuff, and they're like, what the hell is that guy doing?
Yeah, right? Like,
You know?
like any random person that doesn't know what you're doing, you're like, God, this office is the future, you know?
Exactly.
That's amazing.
And so I was like, well, I want to get out and do something fun, and I started to think about motorcycling, not necessarily as like a way to go out and ride on weekends, but I actually got a bike because parking at my office in downtown Austin was costing me $300 a month.
Wow.
And I was like, screw this, a bike can cost me $150 a month. So I went to a Harley dealer and I got my first bike. I thought it was so much fun. It was like, you know, you get passionate about the thing that gets you into a hobby.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I got that, and I was like, well, there's all these guys out there vlogging. Why don't I try that out? And I did it a couple of times. I got a GoPro.
Like, for what though? Like, what was the purpose of the vlogging? Like, were you expecting other people to watch, or just for yourself, or? I actually didn't even post any of them to YouTube. Wow.
I was mostly using it as a way to touch up my editing skills.
Oh, cool.
And then a YouTuber who's very big in the motorcycling space moved to Austin, and he needed an extra hand helping him film and helping him edit and all that stuff. He reached out to me and he was like, why don't you come join the team and help me do this? And I was like, okay. He wanted to do a test edit, and he was like, dude, this is perfect. And for a solid 3.5 years, we were working together doing all sorts of really cool stuff. But that's where I was able to find that this is a real job.
Wow.
This is a real passion, and kind of smash them together. For so long, we tinkered with the formats that we were doing, and then we got to the point where it was like, we were able to play off each other so fast.
Oh, that's cool.
And we could just sit down and knock out a video in a day. It was great. It was a ton of fun, and I learned so much there by just doing it. You learn it by doing it. And I was, again, super fortunate to have the opportunity to work at a bigger channel that was already established. It's been a wild ride.
And it's so crazy to think that if, you know, these certain things didn't align, like, you would have never found this career.
No,
you know?
It would have been just something I'd goof around with on the weekends, and, you know, we'll see what happens. I was just able to find a spot in motorcycling.
Man, so I'm curious, like, what was your childhood like? What were you like as a kid?
What was I like as a kid? A nerd. Prototypical, grew up in the mid-2000s gamer nerd kid. I never got on motorcycles till I got down here to Austin.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about.
And I grew up in Chicago, downtown Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Grew up on the south side. The only thing on two wheels I'd ridden was a bicycle.
No one in your family rode motorcycles? Nope. You had like no exposure to them?
Really, the only reason I got one was just because it was a cheaper form of transportation.
Wow.
That's it.
That's what is so fascinating to me, is like so many people, you know, they get older and they're like, like you can't teach an old dog new tricks, or like, I really think this is cool, but I don't want to get into it because I didn't do it when I was younger and I'm gonna be lost. And it's like, you're a perfect example of that's all bull.
Yeah, just send it, man. You just got to give it a try.
Dude, I am amazed that Jake earns a living by riding and reviewing motorcycles. If you're new, we're giving away $2,500 once we reach 10,000 subscribers. Just subscribe, comment on any video posted after April 29th, and you're entered to win. Each comment counts as an entry, 1 comment per video. Comment down below any awesome and interesting careers you'd love to see showcased in the Outliers. Let's get back into it.
So I'm fortunate enough through the job that I have, that
it is a job, it's a career. It's how you earn your living. It's
a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we're gonna talk about it more later, but holy cow. But I get to ride sport bikes, I get to ride supermotos, I get to ride dirt bikes, I get to ride all around the country. I get to experience a lot of different styles of motorcycling that a lot of other people tend to not have the opportunities to.
I feel like the motorcycle industry, there's so many different niches, man, and there's so many snobs. How do you tailor your content to, like, you know, are you thinking about what's gonna upset your viewers, or are you thinking about what people wanna see and wanna hear? Like, it seems like there's a lot of politics. Like, how do you navigate all of that?
I just make a piece that I can stand by. If at the end of the day, I stand by what I say in that video and that this was my honest opinion, I don't really care what people say in the comments. I read every single comment on every one of my videos. I do try to give people videos that they are entertained by, but I also want to do videos that entertain me to make. Like, one of my videos is almost at 100,000 views from a couple of weeks ago. I went and got this gold wing. That video got almost 80,000 views in 2 days.
Yeah, that's a professional football stadium, like a huge one.
When I came to that realization, I was like, oh my God, there's way more reach here than I thought about.
Yes.
You know, but it's just like on YouTube, you reach so many people so quick.
And it just puts it into perspective, because when you see that many people in front of you, you realize how massive the audience is.
Yeah.
When you see little numbers on a screen, it doesn't really hit you, but you're like, oh,
yeah,
this many people have viewed my video, which is like, is awesome. And that's so fulfilling in itself.
And now I'm making enough that I can pay my half of a mortgage and buy parts for bikes, put in videos.
That's amazing.
You know, and occasionally go out to eat.
Dude, that's the American dream.
I know, right?
Taking your passion and you are making a living from it. It doesn't have to be glamorous. You don't have to be like a multi-millionaire. It's like,
no, dude, I'm not chasing a bigger dollar figure. I just want to make a fun video.
You're so inspiring, man, honestly.
I don't know that that's entirely the case, but I appreciate it.
So, man, I think like the positives about your job are like easily apparent, right? What I want to hear about is like all the stuff that you don't like. Like, what is your least favorite part about this job?
Basically walking away at the end of the day. You're just like, I need to finish editing this video. I'm just gonna knock it out. And then suddenly you look down and it's midnight. That's probably the toughest part, is setting boundaries between when I'm working and when I'm not.
Yeah, because you're not at a company. There's no one telling you when to start, when to stop, what to film, what to do. Like, that can be a gift and a curse, right?
It's finding the time to do everything. Whenever I go out and film, it's all me. I do all the camera work, I do everything myself. And it's not just making the videos, it's also reaching out to companies. It's managing relationships. Like, I've got relationships with Harley Davidson, I've got relationships with Insta360, I've got them with Quad Lock, I've got Flying Eyes, I've got all these different relationships, and I manage them all.
There's so much to love about this, but like, do you ever feel like, this is work, like I don't really want to do this today?
So I never dread what I do, because what I do, at the end of the day, I just get to f around with motorcycles.
Right.
But there are definitely days where I don't feel confident about this video.
Yes.
I don't like where this ended. It doesn't feel like I put my heart and soul in it. Ironically enough, some of those videos are the best performing on the channel.
It's crazy, man.
And people are like, dude, you were so awesome in this video.
You're like, what?
And I was like, I felt so down about myself when I was releasing this thing.
Tell me about some moments that you're like really proud and like stand by some of the work that you've done.
The folks at Harley Davidson watch my videos. Whenever I put out a Harley video, they're watching it.
Yeah.
The folks at Livewire, I spoke with one of them because I'm trying to get a Livewire in some videos and stuff, and they watch it. Seeing manufacturers of motorcycles that I love are watching what I say, it's kind of mind-blowing. Like, they listen to what you say and they put it in the bikes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It means that I'm not necessarily just shouting into a void.
Yes.
You know? But at the end of the day, what I look for more, and occasionally I'll have people come up and they're like, hey, are you Spike from YouTube? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, dude, I got on a motorcycle because I watched some of your videos. That's what makes everything that I do so much more fun. Getting people to experience something that they may not have otherwise done just because they watched me dick around on a bike. A few years ago, I made a video, how to get started riding in like 30 minutes or something like that. I've had a handful of people come up to me who are like, I watched that video that you made and that taught me how to ride a motorcycle. That really was like, oh, there's the impact I'm having. That's the positive impact that I'm having. More so than me clearing my monthly needs with cash from YouTube, more so than going to events and talking with people from manufacturers. It's hearing from the audience that the videos are in some way making a positive difference for them. That's what I want to see. That's awesome. I just want to share more of this shit with people.
I guess I just have one last thing for you is, what advice do you give someone, maybe they're unhappy where they're at, maybe they feel stuck, maybe they feel lost. What advice do you give someone to be able to take their passions and turn it into their paycheck?
The biggest thing is you're gonna hit some points where you're like, this just ain't worth it. It's just not worth doing. And it may take a while, even if you do something and it doesn't work out the first time. There's nothing that says you didn't just have the formula tweaked just a little wrong. You just gotta be able to react to what's, you gotta be able to stick and move and try something new, pivot a little bit, be like, okay, this just fell shy of what I wanted it to do. How do we get it to exceed next time? And you're probably gonna f it up. You're gonna tweak it and it's gonna do worse. And then you're gonna be like, go back, go back, go back. But then you're gonna figure out what that right thing was. It's just gonna take time.
I can't thank you enough, dude.
Absolutely,
oh my
man.
God. One of the best careers ever, bro. Thank you for everything today. This has just been absolutely enjoyable, man.
Yeah, again, just here at the end, it's all thanks to the folks at home who are watching what I do. You guys make it possible for me to do what I'm doing. And that, I still can't believe at the end here that this is a job, you know?
It's incredible.